So you think Drowning and All or Nothing are the exact same intro? Let's find out. Did that sound the same to you? Because if it did, let's fix your ear. Now, they do sound similar because All or Nothing copied Backstreet Boys. How nobody has done this before, I'm a little shocked. There's a reason why Drowning feels more lush, more scored and cinematic, and why All or Nothing is missing that layer. All or Nothing feels thinner. It's definitely more eager to close. Your ear can tell that. I can tell by playing that. But mostly, All or Nothing uses a sleight-of-hand musical trick that adds an instant brightness layer. It covers up for the lack of depth in the intro. If you're a musician, you probably already know this. Now, let's start with Drowning here. Did you hear that climbing? That's some left-hand voice leading. O-Town doesn't do that. O-Town gives you this. It's a very simple 1-5-8. What are they doing here? They're giving you two C's, octave apart, with a 5 note in the middle. Very simple, very elementary. They're not walking that C major. What is Backstreet Boys doing on their B major? Drowning is actually voice leading. Allows the inner voice of the song to thicken. And this is something O-Town's going to continue to do throughout the piece, right? So their first motif, left hand, and then they go 3 notes. What are the Backstreet Boys giving you? And then they go to this. It's so much more rich and lush. It's actually responding to the motif. That's the first thing that O-Town emits, left hand voice leading.
Oh, and by the way, don't forget that follow button.
Now, for the second thing O-Town omits, maybe the most glaring thing they do is they leave out the second motif. Let me show you. Caught that? That first motif established the question. It introduced the concept. The second motif, the one O-Town leaves out of theirs, it intensifies and expands and world builds. And then that third motif is the resolving motif. O-Town goes from first motif to third. They skip the second. Where was the second one? Let's actually add a second motif back in, because we can do that. But you see, then it sounds like Drowning, so they had to skip the second motif. And that leads us directly into the third thing that's different about these songs, the thumb movement on the right hand. We discussed before how the left hand had limited harmonics. They do the exact same thing on the right. What's the difference there? The thumb doesn't move. Take a look. Now the key to understanding this is to pay attention to my thumb, how it doesn't move. And this isn't the only time they do that. Watch what Backstreet Boys does. Oh, and if you're wondering why I have manicured nails, it's because I play flamenco guitar. And yes, it does make this harder. You can see because of the thumb movement in Drowning that it's so much richer. So you combine that with the static thumb on the right hand and no orchestral filler on the left hand, and you have thinner motifs. Does that make sense? Okay, now back to that key change spoiler that I teased in the beginning. The fourth thing they do to cover up for everything else they've done so far is they shift the key up. O-Town compensates for writing thinner harmonic layering with a cheat code. They shift the song up 1 semitone.
Nobody's gonna know. They're gonna know.
Now, if you don't know what I'm saying, you actually do. Let me show you.
Every time I breathe, I take you in. Every time I breathe, I take you in.
O-Town is doing that lift immediately. What happens if we were to lift Drowning up into the same key that we play O-Town? Here's O-Town. See that static thumb? What would Drowning sound like? See how much richer it is? And once we nullify that brightness effect by putting both songs in the same key, now you can see why O-Town has to add this because they got no harmonics in there and they got to trick your ear into thinking that it's actually different. You've probably heard people say that All or Nothing's song came out first.
That Backstreet Boys ripped off of O-Town.
They didn't, but it wasn't written first. Drowning was written 2 years before All or Nothing. If anything, Backstreet Boys got their song from this. Now that's a Swedish song. Max Martin was Swedish. Cheiron Studios, Stockholm. That's where they found Drowning. Now, even though Drowning pulled from that, they massively improved it. No one would ever call it copyright or plagiarism. That's not what O-Town did when they took Drowning to build All or Nothing. They dumbed it back down where it actually sounds a lot like this. So what can you take away from this video that you can actually remember? Because I threw the entire book at you.
1,
O-Town shifted up a semitone to make their song seem brighter.
2,
O-Town left out left-hand voice leading.
3,
O-Town's right hand had a static thumb. They gave you no harmonics.
4.
O-Town entirely skips the second motif. Now, you could still like O-Town's version, still catchy. There's a reason no one would call it cinematic. There's a reason. There's 4 reasons.